dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's up? We outside. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about another Knicks win because the Knicks beat the Orlando Magic 100-91, and it was a slugfest. Whenever you have two teams who hit 100 points or barely 100 points, you know it's a slugfest, and we did it in multiple ways. Jalen Brunson, our leader, our captain, gave us 31 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds on the night. Karl Anthony Towns shows up with 22 points and Nick high 22 rebounds. Incredible showing by Karl Anthony Towns. Mikal Bridges becomes the third option we thought he could be and chips in with 17 points. And Josh Hart gives you a little bit of everything. He gives you a couple of assists, 5 assists. He gives you 5 rebounds. And he also gives you 12 points on the night as well. The Knicks win the rebounding battle. Yes, we won the rebounding battle 52-45. Knicks bucked the trend though. We win this game with only getting 20 assists. Our goal has been 30 assists. When we get 30 assists, that's usually when we win the game. We only had 20, but it doesn't matter because the Knicks still take home the W, proving that we can win dirty sometimes, and we definitely had to win dirty today. And we're gonna talk about it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. And before we talk about it all, I'm gonna just shout out to my peoples in the chat. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Shout out to you guys in the chat in YouTube land. Shout out to my TikTok heads. My bad, TikTok head. I missed you. Shout out to my people on TikTok as well. But YouTube especially been rocking me. Shout out to Fritz, the best mod in the game. Shout out to Craig Ward. Shout out to Kareem Grant. Shout out to Jean-Marc. Everybody else was rocking with the KOT show. If you like the analysis, hit that like and subscribe. And if you're feeling the show, hit that like and subscribe as well. Now let's get to it. Oh, and before I even get to it, I'm gonna just let you guys know that the Discord link is in the chat. So for you guys who want to chat with us live on the show on YouTube land, the Discord link is in the chat. So definitely go ahead and click that link if you want to chat with us. Okay, so let's get it. I'm gonna get to it. This was an important game for us. The Knicks so far, they really haven't lost a couple of games in a row. That's not what we do. We lose one game, we come back, and then we smack teams. All right, that's what we do. We lose a game, we come back, and then we smack teams. We don't really get on these long losing streaks. 2 is probably the longest streak we've been on. We rarely even get to 3, even since last season. So for me, when the Knicks were about to run into the Magic, I expected to win this game, especially considering these few things. One, Tom Thibodeau has time. When you're on the road and there's games back to back and every other day, sometimes you really don't get the time to really practice with your team. The Knicks have been struggling with the consistency on the defensive end. So I knew coming to this game, the Knicks will be well rested, well practiced. Tom Thibodeau was going to re-implement his defensive principles, and we should be sharper from the get when it comes to the way the Knicks play defense. And we definitely needed all that today because we started off slow offensively today. So the only way we can actually keep up with this team was to play defense, which is why I'm going to start off this show talking about the guy who's been catching the most heat on the team since the beginning of the season, Mikal Bridges. All right, Mikal Bridges had 17 points today, right? He's been the talk this week in this lull of action. People were talking about how Mikal Bridges isn't really a point of attack defender. I think on the putback they was talking about how he wasn't a real point of attack defender. But the Knicks are asking him to do that. He's more of a help defender. And also there's been talk about how Deuce McBride is a better point of attack defender. And if you're looking at the way those guys play, you can't really deny that. You can't really ignore that. Deuce has just been better overall at fighting over screens, contesting jump shots, and able to hit standstill shots, playing off of Jalen Brunson. Mikal Bridges, he gives the effort for sure. I feel like he gives effort for sure, I mean, even though some people might agree. But I do feel like when it comes to his technique, when it comes to his speed, he hasn't been able to be attached to point of attack high octane guards like Deuce McBride has been. But today versus the Magic, it was a lot different. It was a lot different. Jalen Suggs finished the game, I believe, 3 of 18 from the field, which was incredible defense by these Knicks, led by Mikal Bridges. And shout out to the people who joined in from TikTok, A-Bomb. Led by Mikal Bridges. And the thing that I noticed immediately was the way that he was fighting over screens and the way that he was staying attached. He rarely got dislodged from Jalen Suggs, and he made multiple efforts. And I think a lot of that had to do with the practice that the Knicks have had to have on this slow off. So hopefully from now moving forward, we're going to see an even more consistent Knicks team and a more consistent Mikal Bridges on the defensive end. And I was happy to see that Mikal Bridges took it to another level and played pretty well defensively, holding Jalen Suggs to 3 for 18, I believe. I'm gonna double check those numbers really quick when I'm looking at Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs shooting number 4 of 19 from the field, 21% from 3, -15 on the night. So when the guy who's been giving you around 30 points in a game since Paolo and Wagner went down is shooting 4 of 19, you're already at a good start. So I loved how the Knicks responded in that regard. So shout out to Mikal Bridges, who did his thing. Also, Mikal Bridges, really good in the paint, feeding off of the passing of Karl Anthony Towns, able to score in the paint damn near will, and also able to hit those corner threes. Matter of fact, after all the struggles, Mikal Bridges' shooting in general has been trending upward, shooting around 43% from threes. Mikal Bridges being even more consistent in the paint. And before, that stuff was kind of only happening at home. Now you're looking at Mikal. Mikal is doing that on the road as well. So now the game is traveling, and he's looking more and more like the guy who we sent those picks over for today, at least, putting a lot of effort on the defensive end, shooting well on the offensive end, setting the tone. Who started to say, I got to give it up to Mikal Bridges, who helped set this tone for us today. So shout out to Mikal Bridges. Shout out to the people on TikTok. Juju, I see you. Rome Franklin, I see you coming in, trickling in. All right. But after you talk about Mikal Bridges, you then got to talk about the captain and Jalen Brunson and the mental fortitude he had to display to get through this game. Because I'm going to tell you something. Watching this game from the first quarter on, it was obvious to me that the refs checked out. They were just letting anything go. I don't know if the refs were feeling sorry for the Magic because they lost so many players, that they were just letting all types of craziness go, all types of fouls, hacks, grabs. I saw plays where Magic would set screen and literally hold our players with 2 hands and prevent them from running. I saw all sorts of stuff. And all those fouls and ticky-tack stuff all led to 8 turnovers in the first quarter. Bruh. So when I'm looking at, so the Knicks are down, have 8 turnovers, and I'm thinking the refs are swallowing their whistle. As soon as the refs start blowing their whistle, the Knicks are going to start to turn it up. And that's what happened. And it was led by Jalen Brunson, who I felt like did a really good job doing something that was much needed for this game. One, shooting the 3 off the dribble. Because a lot of the time you'll see the Magic, they'll pack the paint a lot. They'll send 2 or 3 or 4 defenders in the paint. If you beat one, you'll see 2 more people coming into the paint. I thought Jalen Brunson did a magical job, even avoiding the paint altogether and just loosening up the defense by shooting multiple pull-up threes in that first quarter. 2, not getting discouraged when guys like Jalen Suggs was fouling him and just repeatedly kept going at them, manipulating the game in such ways that he found ways to get fouled and make the refs call it. The refs weren't calling the grab the arm fouls. The refs weren't calling those. What the refs were calling, though, was whenever Jalen Brunson gave you that head fake, got up in the air, and then moved into their body and shot it, they was calling those fouls. So I felt like Jalen Brunson's mind got these guys in the right mindset, and he kind of found the type of fouls that the refs would call, and I think it kind of helped us get into a flow of the game. So I got to shout out to Jalen Brunson, who kind of fought his way through this game and finally brought some attention to Jalen Suggs, who fouled out in the fourth quarter. Truth be told, that man should have fouled out in the first quarter the way he was grabbing and choking and complaining every time he fouled Jalen Brunson. So Jalen Brunson did a phenomenal job today with 31 points, did it every which way, 31 points, pull up threes, get into the lane, get into the free throw line, and emotionally put the team on his back. We wouldn't be anywhere in this game without Jalen Brunson playing the way he played. Kareem Grant says, Jay, the refs have been doing this all week against us. The refs have been doing this all year against us. I don't know what's happening with the Knicks, with Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns in particular, and even sometimes OG Anunoby. The refs don't really like to call the fouls for us. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the reputation. I don't know, they're just hating us because we got the orange and blue on. But the refs have been hating us all year. They really have. And we really had to start to work games to get these refs respect. So I'm glad that we was able to finally get the refs respect towards the fourth quarter. Because even though we started to get calls in the fourth quarter, I was still kind of mad on how long it actually took for us to start to get calls. Also, I got to shout out Karl Towns once again, who had another strong game, 20 points, 22 points, 22 rebound game. This is a man who learned how to rebound under Tom Thibodeau and didn't really get those rebounding chops until Tom Thibodeau was with him, lost it with the Timberwolves, joined the Knicks, and now is one of the best rebounding bigs in the NBA. Once again, the versatility of Karl Towns allowed him to work the game, because Jalen Brunson was more of the 1A today, and Karl Towns was more of the 1B. And a lot of these Knicks, they struggled to score when the defensive intensity kind of ratcheted up. So we had to kind of rely on Karl Towns and Jalen Brunson to kind of carry us and make the tough shots. And Karl was able to do that. Karl was able to, first of all, like he always does, create easy baskets for off-ball cutters. Mikal Bridges was the beneficiary of that. Hit a three. His driving has been big for us, getting into the lane and getting a lot of and ones and working in the post. So I thought Karl did a really good job working himself into the game after a slow start offensively as well, because the Magic really worked on him. And to be honest, the Magic did a good job with Karl Towns. Karl had 6 turnovers. A lot of those turnovers were like offensive fouls. We saw the flagrant foul that he had on Moe Wagner when he hit him in the head. We seen that. He has had a propensity of having a lot of those flagrant fouls, so he still has some work to do in kind of composing himself when the defense gets a little bit rough, because a lot of his turnovers have been on just fouling. But overall, Karl has done a really good job for us. Craig Ward says we're getting dogged because Adam Silver's relationship with the Raptors and a lawsuit that's been swept under the covers. It could, I'm not gonna hold you. conspiracy theories be damned, something is weird this season about the lack of calls and when the calls are being called as well. Even that Atlanta game still kind of rubs me the wrong way, the way we've been called, the way things have been called. The first Brooklyn game, it really felt like the refs were trying to give the game to the Nets, and the Knicks just had so much talent, and Jalen Brunson was just on one. We was able to pull it away anyway. And today wasn't as bad because Jalen Suggs eventually fouled out, but it just took a lot. It just took a whole lot for the refs to wake up and actually call fouls on the team. It was weird. It was extremely weird to me. But when I look at this game and who really affected the game to me the most, it was definitely Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges, who are kind of keeping us afloat offensively. And I'm also looking at OG Anunoby as well. I'm kind of noticing something with OG this season. After having that slow start, I don't know if the extra attention is getting to him, but he's kind of been declining a little bit offensively. He's been rushing the corner threes a lot more. Haven't been able to hit those at the clip he has been prior seasons, even earlier this season. Sometimes when he's under pressure, he starts to turn the ball over. It's funny because I'm starting to see Mikal kind of pick up and play a little bit better under pressure than OG. So it's like there's a swing happening. There's a swing happening right now between our wings. But OG was really the guy, and OG seemed like the third option. And now it seems like Mikal has now taken over that role. And Mikal over the last week has been the more reliable scoring option for these Knicks. So moving forward, I'm going to keep an eye out on what OG is going to do offensively for us. If he's able to kind of uptick and be the player he was before we had that career high game. Because it seems that after he had that career high in, I believe, was it Utah? It's kind of been all down here. It's kind of been a little shaky for OG. It's kind of been a little bit shaky for OG. I need him to get back on track. But also, speaking of wings, I felt like Josh Hart also had a pretty good game, pushing the pace offensively. You already know he had 5 assists. But what I really loved about Josh Hart's game today was the toughness, the ability to go through the hole and finish through contact, get a bunch of and ones. There was a part of the game where I think it was Silva kind of bounced off of him when he went to the hole, and he kind of just, gave him the thumbs like, yo, who is this kid, man? Who's this little gnat? Gave him the little too small symbol and hit the free throws. So I like Josh Hart's attitude as well. The Knicks' attitude in general defensively is something that we need. And we need this type of intensity for the entire game to carry through. Because as of now, the Knicks are a top 2 offensive team in this league. And currently, we're ranked, I believe, 17th in defensive rating. And, championship contenders are generally top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense. So for us, we have the pieces and the personnel to be a top 10 defensive team. It's probably going to be at 10, at least at 11. And we've shown flashes of that. But for us to be at the level that we want to be, consistency is what we need to lead on. And today is the first step of being consistent with our defense. And I'm kind of happy. I'm upset that we didn't get into the tournament, but these long stretches of breaks of practice really is only going to help us. It's almost might be a blessing in disguise that we did lose to Atlanta, because it's going to put some things in perspective for us long term, and have ourselves look in the mirror and go, you know what? We need some mental toughness. We need to work on these things if we're going to be serious contender going down the road. So I know the Knicks have the Timberwolves coming up on Thursday, and that's another long layoff. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all off. Tibbs is going to have these guys ready. And Tibbs is going to have these guys doing defensive slides. Today was probably maybe the second or third best defensive point of attack performance I've seen from Mikal Bridges this season. So hopefully what I saw today kind of carries over against the Timberwolves, because and beyond, because Lee talks about being contenders and all that stuff, and I have not put this team in the contender bucket yet. Do we have potential? Yes. Yes, we have potential. Do you have personnel here that can work? Yes, we have the personnel here that can work. But you need time, you need discipline, you need people to be on the right page. I know we have people on the right page. I know we have the right attitude to do what we have to do, but we still need consistency. And we still need to learn from our mistakes. And hopefully this game, even though it's not a top-seeded team, hopefully this game is one of those games that's going to help us build habits, so that we can carry this over to the Timberwolves game and beyond, because that's what we need to really be contenders. All right. Salute to the chat, man. Shout out to Michelle, shout out to Pac, shout out to Chat PG, to JH and Jose Meza in the TikTok space. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Craig Ward, who says, I agree with you, Mr. Ellis. Absolutely. Appreciate you. And shout out to the Hearts. Shout out to Pre-Brute, who's hitting the hearts in there. Somebody's hitting my hearts on the TikTok land. I appreciate whoever's hitting the hearts on TikTok land. I appreciate you. TikTok, if you are watching on TikTok, if you have a comment or if you have a question, I will read it on TikTok. Don't worry, and I'll give you a little bit of shout out. Also, for YouTube land, if you want to be on the Discord chat, you want to talk to me, hit that link in the Discord chat and chat it up with your boy Jay Ellis, so we can talk Knicks basketball. Honorable mention, didn't do a lot, didn't score a lot today, but I felt like did a little bit in big moments. Deuce McBride, only 7 points, but it's funny because he was 2 for 2 from 3. And I felt like there was parts of this game we were struggling scoring a little bit. And the thing about Deuce that's so good is just his ability to hit timely shots, but he's one of the few guys on this team who can hit shots that are heavily contested consistently. And that's a big skill, especially when you consider, the guy is barely 6 feet tall. But it's just the way he shoots the ball, the way his release is so high. He's able to get it over defenders' hands consistently and easily, and he's been a big spark for us. And plus, you already know the defense with Deuce McBride is what it is. He's one of the best point of attack defenders in the NBA, which is why there's been a lot of talk about Deuce starting at some point next to Brunson. So Deuce McBride, for sure, I feel like did a really good job in his short stint. I see Jean-Marc said Brunson too. I'm not going to hold you, yo. And shout out to Cliff Berger and Brian Beaton on TikTok. Brunson defensively was really good. And this might go under the radar in today's game because of everything else that happened. But if you ever watch clips of this game, the way Brunson fought over screens was something that I haven't really seen to this level. He did a really good job fighting over screens, making it really hard for point of attack defenders. He also did a really good job blitzing on pick and rolls as well, and showing hard. There wasn't really a lot of open 3-point shots for this team. And sometimes what the Knicks get in trouble is they'll see a team like the Magic, who were bottom in the league in 3-point shooting, and they'll know that coming into the game. And because they know that coming into the game, they'll let those guys shoot wide open threes and not contest it. And then kind of what happens is that team then gets into a rhythm. And now you're looking around and there's this no-name guy scoring 30 on us, who's never scored 30 in his life. And it's all because the Knicks allowed the team to get into a rhythm offensively. And what I like about this team today was they never allowed that to happen from the opening tip. Even when the Knicks were struggling offensively, they didn't waver defensively. So it was like from the tip off, the Knicks played defense. Also from the tip off, they didn't let their offense predicate, or the Knicks' lack of offense predicate how hard they were going to play defensively. And that's the type of attitude and discipline that you need when you want to be a championship team, which is why we put this team together, to be a championship team. So I'm really, even though it's not a big name team, it's a short-handed Magic team. We held that team to under 100 points. And I felt like we showed a lot of discipline on how consistent we played defense the entire night. Angrill said, facts, Brunson played well defensively. Yeah, he played well defensively. Matter of fact, I don't know if there was like a bad defensive showing from anybody. I kind of feel like collectively, this was a very strong, consistent defensive effort from top to bottom, which is something that you can't say about this team this entire year so far. Where it's like, yeah, the Knicks played 4 quarters of defense. No, usually what we end up saying is the Knicks played 3.5 quarters of defense and we won because our offense was good. That's usually what we end up saying. But today I feel like we played 4 quarters of defense. And I'll take that to the bank. I'll take that to the bank every time. I'll take that to the bank every time. Angrill says, Kat, iffy defense today. You know what, Angrill? The one play, and shout out to D Thomas on TikTok, and shout out to Trap 2020 on TikTok. The one play that I'll say Kat was iffy on defense was the dude that play when he let Moe Wagner shoot like a 3-point shot in transition after he went to the hole and made a layup. That was the one egregious defensive lapse I've seen from Kat. But then it was like right after that, Kat went right down and hit a pull-up 3. You know what? I'm not even gonna hold you. That Moe Wagner Kat matchup was fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun to watch because we already know they hate each other. Moe Wagner actually ended up playing a good game. Moe Wagner ended up with 32 points of the night, hit a few 3-point shots. Suggs is supposed to be that dude. He's supposed to be the leader of the scoring of the team, and it was really Moe Wagner who really did his thing. But the most entertaining part of this game was probably that back and forth between Kat and Moe Wagner in like that second or third quarter, where it just really seemed like they were just going one-on-one. At that point, I was like, everybody else just go to the bench. Brunson, sit down. Mikal, OG, sit down. All you Suggs, just let Kat and Wagner just go at it because it was fun to watch. I'm not gonna hold you, and I'm gonna give Moe Wagner his props for he can tell that he wanted this game and he got up for this game because the way Kat kind of sunned him versus the Magic. Wagner is kind of a villain for us right now. The way he's how physical he is with the Knicks, the way he trash talks. He's kind of a villain in our eyes. I know Trae Young gets all the headlines and stuff, but he kind of has a rivalry with us. So I kind of like that back and forth, and makes it even more fun that the Knicks beat him. All right, makes it even more fun the Knicks beat him. Take that. And you know what my favorite part of that game is too? One of my favorite part of the game is finding out how much of an asshole Mikal Bridges really is. And shout out to Jaden on TikTok. Jaden, if you have any questions or comments, I'll read it if you put it in the chat, Jaden. Finding out how much Mikal is a troll. Because you already know Mikal's celebration, right? Mikal had the celebration when he puts out the 3 fingers and he starts doing right? When what's the center's name who started for the Magic who doesn't really start? When Goga Batazi played and he took like 4 steps and traveled, and you saw Mikal Bridges doing the little travel thing for about the travel signal for about like 20 minutes on the floor, to the point where Goga turned and looked at him in disgust, and he just kept going at it. It was like, that was probably one of my favorite moments of the game, man. That was probably one of my favorite moments of the game. Mikal, I didn't realize how Mikal was such an asshole, yo. I didn't realize how much of a troll he is. So from this day forward, I know when Mikal Bridges is talking smack, he's having a good day. So I need Mikal Bridges to troll his head off. If it means making the other players pissed, do what you gotta do to get going. All right. So shout out to my guys on YouTube. Shout out to the guys on TikTok. If you have any questions or comments, I'll definitely read them. Shout out to Mike Kaya Van on TikTok too. If you have any comments, Mike, I'll definitely read them for you on the air. All right. JT Red says, just got to keep the momentum going. Shout out to JT Red. I see you. Jean-Marc says, I want to go on the Knicks. I actually want to go on the Knicks too. I don't know if you guys remember the live streams that we did in the summer. We talked about having Go and actually Wendell Carter too. We actually was talking about maybe having the possibility of having Wendell Carter on the Knicks. Of course, this is before the whole Kat trade happened. I didn't even think a Kat trade was even possible, but the Knicks pulled it off. Shout out to Sandman and says, what up, Jay Ellis? First time in a while. I love defensive intensity from Mikal. We need Mikal to be this consistent with his defense. Yeah, absolutely, Sandman. I started off the program talking about how Mikal Bridges defensively really turned this game, and how Tom Thibodeau had the time to actually practice with the team on these days off and kind of implement his principles. And I think it had a big deal to why the Knicks was showing up so consistent from the opening tip to the buzzer. And it started with Mikal Bridges, who did a really good job holding Suggs 4 from 19 from the field today. Suggs had a terrible game. Terrible game. All right. Salute to the chat. I kind of feel like I've gone through everything really that I want to talk about. Next big game is against the Timberwolves. This is gonna be it, man. This is, if there was ever a time to have some days off to practice, this would be the time to have some days off to practice, when the Knicks play the Timberwolves on Thursday. Julius Randle will be coming back to the Garden. Dante DiVincenzo will be coming back to the Garden. You already know emotions will be high. Karl Anthony Towns will be back as well. Will be playing his old team. Anthony Edwards, you already saw there was a lot of intensity during the Knicks Timberwolves preseason game. So you can expect that there's going to be some intensity coming up on Thursday. So, and we'll be here. That game starts at 9:30. I'll definitely be doing a post game after that game to talk about that game, and hopefully be talking about a Knicks win. All right. All right. And shout out to Mellow318. So now it's time for a part of the show. What? Shout out to Jean-Marc, who sends a super chat. Appreciate you, Jean-Marc, for the $5. And shout out to A-Line. Thank you for joining the stream, A-Line, on TikTok. Thank you for joining the stream, Baltimore Boreal, on TikTok. But Jean-Marc sends a $5 super chat and says, keep up the good work, KOT. Appreciate you, man. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. If you enjoyed the breakdown, like, share, all that noise. And thank you for the super chat, man. It helps keep the lights on for sure. All right. Is the game in NY? You know what? I think the game is in Minnesota, because if it's a 9:30 start, that usually means it's West Coast time. So I think you're right. I think the game is in Minnesota. I think I might have misspoke. Hold on. 9:30. Yeah, it's in Minnesota. It's in Minnesota. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So now it's time for my favorite parts of the show. Bruh picks. Bruh picks are usually the stupidest, dumbest plays of the game or the week, or sometimes just something stupid or something dumb that you want to point out. And my bro pick for this game, Knicks versus Magic, my bro pick goes to the refs, man. My bro pick goes to the refs. I don't know what's happening with these refs this season when it comes to the Knicks, but they're swallowing their whistles an awful lot. Even the foul, even though Jalen Suggs fouls out, watch a replay of how he fouled out. Before he even fouled out, Jalen Brunson was fouled like 3 or 4 times before the final foul that they called to foul him out. The refs have to be consistent, man. We can't allow teams to hold your arm, hold your shoulder, pull at you, and not reward with a foul, and then call us on ticky-tack fouls. It's getting tiring, man. Even though there was a play with Deuce McBride goes to the hole, he gets pulled down by the shoulder on a dunk attempt. There was no call. There was a lot of weird no calls today. I just salute the Knicks for kind of playing through it, and Jalen Brunson for kind of not manipulating the refs, but figuring out the type of fouls that the refs are going to call and the type of fouls they weren't calling and forcing them to make the calls that's going to help us swing the game. So, bro pick for these refs for a weirdly officiated game. And my Ohh pick goes to... my pick goes to Jalen Brunson on his one play. Jalen Brunson, fourth quarter, he got his swag back. He's giving it to Jalen Suggs. He's barking at him. He puts Jalen Suggs in the post, scores on him over the right shoulder hook, screams, gets Jalen Suggs pissed. Jalen Suggs gets the tech. Then I think one of the next plays, we had Silver guarding him at the three-point line. Brunson's been cooking him all day long, all game long. Brunson then acts like he's about to drive hard left, doesn't dribble the ball, pulls back, and shoots a three cleanly. Nothing but net. And the crazy part is I feel like Silver is still looking for Jalen Brunson right now, because even though Jalen Brunson kind of faked the crossover and never crossed over, it got Silver out of the picture completely. It was a nasty play. It was a great cross. It's a crossover without being a crossover. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's a great shot, great play by Jalen Brunson. It kind of was like the coup de grace, the exclamation point, if you will, against the Magic. So that's my Ohh pick for the day. Jalen Brunson, 31 points. Insane three-point shot. Shout out to Fritz, best mod in the game, who has a question. He says, do you expect a trade by the Knicks in the next 2 weeks before January? 66% say no. 33% say yes. Yeah, trade deadline. It's trade season now. Isn't trade? I feel like trade. It's funny. Usually, trade deadline, trade season, because I think it starts the 15th, which is actually today, is a time where I'm really active and really have my ears perked up. I don't know if this is going to be a season where the Knicks make a trade. I'm not sure. Like, it's funny. The Knicks have made a trade every season. I feel like every offseason. But this offseason, I'm not sure how dedicated we are to doing that. And for a few reasons. One thing I definitely thought. I thought at one point Precious Achiuwa was definitely going to be gone. But I think his injury in the beginning of the season might have done a couple of things. One, hurt his trade value because nobody has seen him play consistently. Nobody knows what he can really. People know he's a defensive guy. People know that he's a good roller. There was some interest in him in the summer, but But I just feel like just the lack of playing time he's had. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if teams have as high interest on him as they used to. So I feel like he has to build. I feel like he would have to build his trade value up. And even then, I'm not sure exactly if the Knicks are ready to trade him as I thought they would be in the summer. Felicia said Jay Ellis already been 2 trades, Pacers and Heat, Nets and Warriors. Oh yeah, you know what? I did see the Nets and Warriors trade. And I also read that the Nets were looking to trade Cam Thomas. The Nets traded I forgot the Nets traded Schroeder. The Nets traded Schroeder for what? A bunch of second round picks. And funny enough, when I read that trade, my brain went to, damn, do you think we could get Dorian Finney-Smith? My brain was like, would the Nets trade with us again? And if they're willing to trade Schroeder for a bunch of seconds, are they willing to not give us a Knicks tax if we trade for Dorian Finney-Smith? Because I do like the idea of having another 3-and-D wing. And Dorian is one of those guys that he's annoying and he's going to play no matter what. So like if the price for Dorian is some seconds, I might call the Nets again, but I'm not sure if the Nets even wants to do that. I kind of feel like they ready to give us Mikal, but who knows? Maybe we loosen them up. maybe we loosen them up. It could be a fire sale right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like their big chip might be Cam Thomas. The only person they might ask the first for might be Cam Thomas. If they given Schroeder for seconds. Felicia says, I like Dorian Finney-Smith and Brunson play with him from Dallas. Exactly. Facts. He played with him in Dallas, and he was good in Dallas too. And it would just be nice because we would go from having limited size to a bunch of 3-and-D wings like we really need to. I still just feel like Tom Thibodeau has to. I still wish that Tom would have us switch more, but maybe this time off, Mikal would just get used to that old school point of attack, fight over screen type of defense. And maybe we'll just get used to that. But I do feel like having somebody like Dorian could help us. Like, I'm not sure. Yo, what is his salary now? Now you got me thinking. Because I don't even know who Dorian Finney-Smith salary. Sorry, Dorian Finney-Smith signed a 3-4-year, $55 million. So that's around $15 million. That's like $15 million a year. That's the thing. It's tough. 14.9. That's pretty much Mitch. That's pretty much Mitch because our trade chips are Mitch and Precious pretty much. Precious, what's Precious salary? Precious salary is $6 million. So yeah, that's Mitch. That's pretty much. I'm not doing that. Damn it. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Precious is $6 million. I wouldn't want to trade Mitch for. I still feel like I know people are down on Mitch. But I still feel like we're gonna need Mitch. I would usually say we need Mitch for Philly, but Philly is looking crazy. I'm not even sure if they're a playing team right now. I don't know what's happening with them, but for Atlanta, I definitely want Mitch for Atlanta because Mitch versus Capella. Mitch usually has Capella's number. He breaks up that lob threat in the pick and roll. So I would definitely like to have Mitch for Capella. Yeah, I saw Embiid. Felicia says Embiid is hurt and McCain is hurt. I definitely see that McCain just got hurt too, which is crazy because he was having a really good season, damn near rookie of the year. So it's kind of nuts that he got hurt. 76 is a curse, man. 76 is a curse. I don't even know what to tell y'all. I don't feel sorry for them because the way they was going at us last year, the way they were trying to injure Mitch during the playoffs. I mean, I feel bad for the rookie. I feel bad for the rookie because he had nothing to do with that. But Embiid, I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Felicia says Cooper Flag for Philly. Is Philly that bad though? Because the Wizards are still out there. Yeah, trust the process, man. Yeah, that process is down the drain, man. 76ers need to blow it up at this point. It's Maxi's. This is Maxi's team. This is all Maxi's team. But it is trade season now. I'm more and more worried about the Knicks. I don't know if we're going to actually make a significant trade this season. This might be the first season where we don't make a significant trade. Shout out to Fritz, who said he made a video about this topic. So definitely head out to NBA Comedy and watch this Fritz video. Shout out to the best mind of the game, Fritz, who said he made a video about this topic. But he made a video about the Precious topic. Will Precious be traded? But even Mitch, because I don't know what Mitch is coming. If Mitch is coming back, I don't know when Mitch is coming back. It's been rumored that the Knicks offered up Mitch in the Karl Anthony Towns trade. So I always thought that he would be traded eventually because they offered him. But then, according to Ian, the front office seems to have changed their tune. And they feel like Mitch can be an integral part of the defense for these Knicks. So Mitch might be traded either. So like between Precious being injured early, the Knicks kind of struggles on defense. I kind of feel like there's a chance that this is the first offseason where we don't make a trade. So yeah, I don't know. It might be just staying intact. If anything, we just might end up getting Shemet on and moving. I forgot the guy's name that we picked up, the 3-point shooter, moving him back to a two-way contract. That might be it. Felicia said, yeah, I saw Felicia said January 31st, Begley, but yeah, Mitch is supposed to come back end of January, early February, according to Ian Begley. I definitely saw that, Felicia. I definitely saw that. So I definitely have my eye out, kept on that. Which means, like, if that's when he's supposed to come back, what's the point of trading him? Because he doesn't really have a trade value. Fritz says our depth needs help. We may just do little improvements if Mitch isn't moved. Minor edge pieces. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be little minor pieces. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. I don't think I have anything else really to talk about. This might be the most boring trade deadline we've ever had. The Knicks played well defensively. Hopefully we keep it up versus the Timberwolves on Thursday, and we stack some more wins. And we just keep stacking wins. All right. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Felicia. Thank you for chatting with me. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. Always welcome. And I will see you Thursday. On Thursday night, probably going to have Lee back. Everybody talk about returning soon. I'm not sure what's going on with Ryan. I don't know what's going to happen with Ryan. I feel like Ryan's still like trying to figure out life stuff. So I'm not sure when Ryan will be back, or if he'll be back, or if he was only going to be back on spot shows. But Lee should be back for the next show. I'm hearing that Ebony's close to returning. I kind of feel like this is like a championship run, and all the players on the KOT squad are on the injured list, and like Ryan is like Mitch, and we waiting to get Ryan back. And Ebony has like a pulled hamstring, and she's going through rehab. I kind of feel like KOT is kind of like last year's Knicks. We just waiting for players to come back for the championship run. I don't know. That's how I feel this season. Oh man, but that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back versus the Timberwolves. Felicia says you're my favorite post game to listen to. I appreciate you, Felicia. Tell him, Felicia. Tell him, damn it. Favorite post game for you to listen to. Appreciate that, Felicia. Let him know. Tell the world, damn it. You don't want to go anywhere in the world. We want to be here with us. Shout out to my guy JT Reddick in the chat. I see you, my guy. KOT in the building. I see you, YouTube land. YouTube KOT holding me down, man. I just need to get TikTok KOT to hold me down as well. When YouTube and TikTok KOT holds us down, then we're gonna be good. Then we're gonna be litty. All right. So shout out TikTok. Y'all gonna find out soon enough. We gonna find out soon enough. Also, I gotta have you guys remember too that Dexter Henry will be joining us for the next Knicks Raptors game. I'm always gonna have respect for Dexter Henry. He was one of the first guys to give us a shot. Invited me to his studio last year to talk Knicks basketball with him. Also brought on Lee a million times. So shout out to Dexter Henry. He's works for SNY, NY Post, his insight with the Knicks. And I can't wait to have him over here to talk Knicks basketball with us versus the Raptors. I really wanted him to be here for the Timberwolves game because that's going to be a big one. But the game was just so late, yo. The game was just so late. If the game was like a regular time, I was going to try to pull that. But I'm really hyped to see Knicks versus Timberwolves. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a really good game. JT Reddick says, dope, always a good one when Dex comes on the show. Yeah, when Dex comes on, those are my favorite shows for sure. He always has some insight and a way of breaking things down that's pretty interesting. So I'm excited for Dexter Henry to come and watch us and talk Knicks basketball with us when we play the Raptors. So yo, shout out to Cube and TikTok land too, who's holding it down. Cube, if you have anything to say in the chat, I'll definitely read it for the people. And Cube, if you enjoy Knicks talk, Cube and TikTok land, definitely be here Thursday. We're gonna be talking Knicks versus Timberwolves after the game. It's gonna be a really late show, and also be here for when Dexter Henry gets here. All right. So shout out to Cube and TikTok land. All right. That's the show. Thank you, JT Reddick. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, we'll be here after every game talking Knicks basketball. You can follow us on the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. We're also on TikTok as well, the Knick of Time Show. So definitely hit us out on those platforms. Also on Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can listen to the KOT Show there as well. All right. So Roberto, I know you're joining late, but we're ending the show right now. If you like Knicks basketball, Robert, and Knicks talk and analysis, we'll be back after the Timberwolves game, Robert, in TikTok. And we'll also be having Dexter Henry over here for the Knicks Raptors game. All right. So that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. As always,
shout out the worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. Appreciate you guys' support. We out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.